Good afternoon, guys, and happy Friday, I think. No, yeah, Friday to all of your sunshiny faces. Didn't know what day it was, guys. Don't think I will know for the next month. And on top of that too, I think my dad said that he could be home through the rest of May, possibly. So yeah, but I have a lot to share with you guys today. I didn't record earlier, but I did actually take a lot of pictures on my phone, and I can share some of the stuff, like I said, I ended up doing for today with you guys. So actually earlier today, my dad, which, guys, I tried to take melatonin and go to bed early last night. I didn't really wind up doing that. It's 10:30 and I'm beat, so that's a good thing. I should hopefully be going to bed early then tonight. But I woke up not super early, probably around 10:30 or 11 o'clock or something like that, and ended up getting up, and my dad went to the grocery stores. He went to Aldi and to Jewel, so I think mostly our grocery shopping for the week should pretty much be done. We got snack stuff. We got a lot more. I don't know if you guys can see behind me though too. We got a watermelon. We still have a honeydew melon, and we just got a new pineapple. We got, let's see over here, oranges and some bananas as well. We have a bunch of bananas also. But yeah, so we ended up doing that. They also had chicken breast on sale at Jewel, which apparently they didn't have any more of. And they also had pork butt roast at Aldi, which I guess they didn't have any more of either. So they didn't end up having really any of the meat. My dad was able to get actually 2 chicken breasts that were at Jewel, and that was pretty much it. So what I'm gonna actually do is most likely make those into freezer dinners, so that we have some extra freezer dinners as well, because I told you guys we've been kind of going through them a little bit quickly. But the good thing was that, like last week at Jewel, they had buy one get one free on their Italian sausage, and they had the same deal running this week also, so my dad did end up picking up some of those. So we got some Italian sausage, so we can do like sausage and peppers one night, and like I said too, I got the 2 things of chicken breast, so we can most likely do those as well. So anyways, like I was saying, we ended up, my dad went to the grocery store. We got a whole bunch of stuff. We got, like I said, produce stuff. Jewel had great deals on berries this week. Raspberries, blueberries, strawberries were all $1.50, and blackberries as well, but my dad said there were none left. So at Aldi, they were actually $1.49. So my dad ended up actually grabbing those at Aldi as well. So we got a whole bunch of berries. I got some spinach to do like my spinach berry salads for the week, so that I have like a lunch sort of thing, and so that I have like, because I don't know, I've been like having like my lunch dinner in like the middle, like in between the 2 of them, because normally I'll have like a late, like I'll eat like a small bowl of cereal for breakfast some mornings, then I'll kind of have like a snack, but then like I'm start to get hungry after lunchtime, but like before dinner. And like yesterday night I ate dinner at like 9:30 because I was like hungry still, and I think that's why I might have not went to bed super early last night. But yeah, so like I said, I like haven't been, so like even if I'm like, oh, I'm not like, I don't really like it's too late to kind of eat lunch, but I'm like still hungry, you know, I can have that for lunch, because normally like a salad doesn't fill me up a whole ton, but then enough that I can like wait like another hour or 2 to then have dinner, because like I said, it's like really weird in between time that I'm trying to eat. And then like I said, sometimes I'm still like, I'll wind up being like 9 o'clock at night and I'm like, huh, I'm hungry, maybe I'll actually eat now. Or like kind of the opposite too, where like, you know, I'll be like, oh, I'll have lunch now, and then I'm like, well, now it's like too late for dinner, and either I'm not gonna eat dinner because it's like too late. You know, if I'm like, well, I'm gonna go to bed in like an hour, do I really want to have like dinner? You know, but then I could always have my salad in the other sense too. I could have that for like a late night, kind of late night-ish snack sort of thing. So that's why I really wanted to do that. And I saw that all of the berries were literally on sale this week. I was like, let's do that. So what we ended up doing today, so like I said, my dad went to the grocery store, got everything put away from there, and then I ended up actually going outside because my dad got 2 more garden beds put in so far. We had what was really 3. And like basically it's like sort of like a double bed is what we're doing, but originally we had one double bed and one like single bed, so really like 3 single beds, I guess. And then my dad ended up adding another 2 single beds, so we now have 2 double beds and 1 single bed that are like our raised garden beds. So the other 2 do not currently have any dirt in them though. My dad has some, but not all of what he needs to fill it in, so we're kind of waiting on that. What I did end up getting planted outside though was our potatoes, and we had spinach that came back from last year. I think I was telling you guys, it came back from last year. I read that that's a thing that can sometimes happen if you don't have a super cold winter, and even for our zone, which is not super common, and like it might happen. So most of our spinach came back, and one of our broccoli plants came back, which again, I don't know that that's totally normal. I thought it was kale at first when I saw it because of the leaves, but I looked closer and was like, oh, there's like little broccoli sprouts like on the top. So hopefully, because that is actually growing so well right now, we'll actually get like good broccoli early on. And then we planted our broccoli that we've been growing from seed outside as well, because it can pretty much be planted like about the beginning of May or so. So like I said, moved the potato plants outside, planted all of our broccoli along with the 1 broccoli piece that's coming up, all of our spinach that's out there. Our onions all came back, which I guess is also common. I guess spring onions do come back every year for the most part. And we also had, what else was that? I planted more spinach outside as well, because we had seeds. We actually had 2 packages of seeds for spinach. And I think that most of our tomatoes might be coming back as well. We might be getting some like volunteer tomatoes as well. So I didn't really touch that bed where the tomatoes came up from, because that probably has got tomatoes coming back in it. So anyways, I will share with you guys the photos of our lettuce, our spinach, or no, I'm sorry, we didn't do lettuce. Our spinach and broccoli that's coming back, along with our onions that came back, and planting the potatoes. We'll see how the potatoes do, because I actually had to take the entire thing out and then try and transplant them, and I didn't realize they were all stuck together, and I didn't realize how deep the roots went. But they basically went to actually the bottom of the pot that we had started them in, because we started them in actually a big pot, and they completely went all the way down. So we'll see if I didn't de-root almost all of them, and basically separate all of the plant from the root. We'll see how well they do, if they all make it. Hopefully they do, but again, we'll see. So anyways, then what I ended up doing was all of our spinach, actually most of it needed to be harvested, because it was definitely in need of that. And it's super cool because it's only the start of May, and our spinach is already, like the spinach that came back has already got you know, can be eaten right now. So we actually did end up, I harvested a lot of it. We ended up actually making a salad for dinner tonight, which we have a little bit left over from. But oh my goodness, guys, it was so good, the spinach. So it's in here. It has got mandarins and apples as well, along with spinach. And we used this from Aldi. It is a white balsamic peach, like vinaigrette dressing, which I thought was really good because it was nice and sweet, and it was kind of like a sweet salad and stuff like that. Again, normally when I do spinach, I love spinach with like other sweet things. Like I said, I do spinach berry salads. I got spinach though for this week for my salads. I'm not using the spinach from the garden just because we probably had enough, but I also wanted to share the harvest with everybody else. I didn't want to just use it for, you know, just myself and my salads. And I didn't necessarily know too, when I made my list 2 days ago, that spinach all was going to be harvested, because I just went outside yesterday and actually looked at the garden, because I thought all just weeds were coming back, and maybe like some little things. I didn't realize how big our onions were and how much spinach had come back, and our, like I said, the broccoli plant that was coming back as well. So that's really cool. But yeah, like I said, we'll see what else comes back too, if any of the tomatoes do wind up coming back. If not, if it turns into like the end of May and nothing is visible, we'll probably wind up just like overhauling that bed and putting whatever else we're gonna put in there. So what I ended up ended up doing with the onions then was I chopped all of the onions pretty much, because you can chop them down and they will keep coming back as well. So I did a ton of chopped onions. This is all green onions for my dad. He can add it to whatever he loves them. He loves to add them to like eggs and I don't know, all kinds of other stuff. He also loves to have it with like cottage cheese and I don't know, just tons of other stuff. He could probably find anything to put onions on. So that's what we ended up doing with that. And then the other thing was I busted out the food dehydrator, and I have got going in here, which is actually almost done. I just added it for a little bit more time because a couple of them were still a little like wet, I guess. Is all of the onions are being dehydrated, and then we will put them in like a container and let them you know, just use them for whatever we want. And so I've got 3 trays worth of green onions all being dehydrated. For this one's a little sad one because it really wasn't that much, but I do have 3 trays worth. The other ones are empty, but I've got 3 trays worth for the green onions, and they're all being dehydrated so that we can use those for, again, like later harvest. Well, not later harvest, but the green onions will most likely still keep producing and coming back and stuff like that throughout most likely the rest of the spring, probably to early summer, from what I've read, and that the they should come back as well next year. So we can, now that those are all dehydrated, I can just put them in a container and we can have them and add them to other things that we would use green onions for whenever, which is pretty cool. So if we were doing like dips, or I don't know what else you add it for, like I said, eggs normally and stuff like that, you know, just use those. So we, like I said, have some fresh that are in the fridge that we can use up right now, and then the rest of these that are being dehydrated. So this dehydrator, I think I've shared with you guys a couple times since we've had it, but it is the Excalibur food dehydrator, and it's the one that has the timer. But I don't know, the timer, I set it for like 4 to 5 hours, and it really wasn't ticking down. Like it went like way less time than I think it was like supposed to. Like it only went down like 2 hours by the time it was like 4 hours. Like it should have almost been done, and it was hardly down. So yeah, I'm using the like herb setting, which is 105 degrees. I think that's the lowest that it can go to. I read somewhere online to do like 900 no, 95 degrees I believe is what like you could do them at, but since I saw that was the herb setting, that's just what I ended up going with. But you can try herbs and stuff like that in there as well, like basil and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So basil, that's the first one that came to mind. Thyme, other stuff like that. So yeah, like I said, that's what I went with, and those are actually, I think, the first thing that I have felt the most confident in dehydrating, because I've tried to do other things too, and sometimes I either think I over dehydrate them or under dehydrate them. I've tried to do banana chips. I don't like the way they taste. They taste too like chewy to me. Like they don't taste as dry, and then once they start to, they're like super hard on the outside and like still like sort of gooey on the inside. Like you can't even bite the outside and the inside's still like gooey. So, and then plus on top of that too, bananas normally wind up turning brown, so you kind of have to add like lemon juice to them, and sometimes that doesn't always pan out. I don't know too if it's like the slivers, I cut them too thick or something like that, but yeah, I don't know. I realized that I'm not the best at doing banana chips. But I've done kale and like tomatoes too, which I didn't think to do tomatoes last year, but I love to snack on like grape tomatoes or cherry tomatoes and stuff like that, like dehydrated. I think they taste so good. They taste like little pieces of candy. Like I love them. I've also think I've tried to do grapes before and like make raisins, which I don't think turned out too bad, but yeah, I don't know. I just, again, need to start getting into it a little bit more, because I've done it, like we've had it for several years. I just haven't gotten super into it where I can like, you know, just be like, oh, I have this down to a science and I know exactly how thin to slice things and how long to dehydrate them for. Because again, sometimes I think I over dehydrate things, thinking that they're like not done well enough, and under dehydrate them too. We've also done, I've done like fruit roll-ups, which I think taste amazing, like homemade fruit roll-ups. They're awesome. I know you can do them in the oven too, but I think that like in the dehydrator they taste better, and I think it gets it a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit more even too in dehydrating them. So yeah, that's what we got going right now. I've never tried jerky or anything like that, but that's what I did today. And on top of that too, I went through almost every single flower bed and pulled out big weeds that I saw. I didn't really try and go over with a fine-tooth comb or anything like that, because in 2 of the flower beds we have like snowdrops and like, I don't know what they're called, the little blue flowers too, that like come up really pretty in spring, like early spring, like when there's still like snow on the ground. Like they bloomed probably in like March or something like that, and so they're kind of like died down a little bit, but there's still a lot of the green, like the flowers aren't there, but like the leaves still are. And so I don't want to pull all of those out just because I don't know like if that's a weed or if that's still them, so I probably have to wait a little bit longer as well. But I tried to go over, and if I was like, okay, that's a huge dandelion, I'll pull that out. You know, if I was like, okay, that's definitely creeping Charlie, I can pull that stuff out, like around the rocks and stuff like that. So I did pretty much go through all of the main flower beds with the exception of the one in between ours and our neighbor's driveway, just because I wasn't even over on that side of the house. But because our garden beds, vegetable garden beds, are over there, I was like in the front yard, pulled some stuff out, in the big flower bed out in the front, the one right by our front like window, and then the one over on the side next to the door. Then, like I said, did all the vegetable gardening stuff. Then went in the back and did the 2, the one next to the garage, and then also the one next to our porch. So I also weeded all of that. So that's why, guys, it is 10:30 and I am tired and want to get to bed. So tomorrow too, it is supposed to be super warm out. It's supposed to be like almost 80s. I think it's supposed to be like high 75, something like that, or a little bit more, but like just barely under 80 degrees, I believe. So it's supposed to be really nice out tomorrow. I think we'll grill, chop up the watermelon, probably do pasta salad, and we've got some hamburgers, hot dogs, and we'll probably do that for tomorrow for dinner. So yeah, guys. Anyways, I've told you guys enough about everything that went on for today. I will see you all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a little thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love it if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye, guys.